Film fans of YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, your Movie Apprentice, and today I'm going to be looking at Trap, directed by Night Shyamalan, and starring Josh Hartnett, Ariel, Donoghue, and Saleka Shyamalan. This follows serial killer The Butcher, who takes his daughter to a Lady Raven concert when he notices there is a high police presence and finds out that this whole concert is a trap for him, and he needs to figure out a way to escape this concert without getting caught. Before I get into my review, if you like what's on the channel, click the like button and subscribe for more video reviews that's coming all the time. Without further ado, let's jump right into the review. So I am late getting to this review, even as it's only just come out in the UK. I'm a few days late getting to this review, and I almost didn't bother doing a full review of it, but I feel like I have to really talk about this film, not because I adore this film, but in actual fact because I found this film to be one of the worst of the year. I am usually a big fan of Shyamalan films, and I was one of the few people that seemed to actually genuinely enjoy his previous film, Old. But this film was a failure of screenwriting, in my personal opinion. Now, to get my positives out of the way, I will say that the performances are very well done. Josh Hartnett is very decent, as is Saleka Shyamalan. She actually has more of a role than there is to be expected from what is originally portrayed in the film, but she does a very good job in it as well. But other than the performances and some of the ways that the film was shot, and of course, the whole concert setting and how it utilizes that setting, this is a frustrating film that heavily relies on everyone apart from our main serial killer being a complete and utter moron. The film tries to convince us that this man is this super genius when it comes to being a criminal and an escape artist, but in actual fact, he is basically looking out the whole way through this because every character in this is a complete idiot. Considering the whole show is supposed to be a trap and they are checking everybody on their way out, the first question is why are they not just checking everyone that matches these vague descriptions as they come into the building? That could have been an easy way to basically stop the whole film from happening. Why are the characters that see oil falling into oil in a very hot fryer and they spend a good 20 seconds stood watching oil sink into more heavily boiling oil? It genuinely felt like every character in this lacked general common sense in order to make this character move forward in the movie. This is very much a people act a certain way because the movie requires them to do that. And yes, every film does that. But this film, you felt it supremely strongly. Small fun fact about me, during my uni days, I did work as an event steward to make a little bit of extra cash. And I have stewarded at football games, or soccer to you Americans. And I have stewarded at some concert events, including festivals, as well as Katy Perry and Little Mix. And I can safely say that one of my biggest gripes with this movie that comes directly from that experience is the fact that while Lady Raven is playing, there are so many people moving around that concourse. Now, I don't know if it's different in America, but over here in the UK, when the show begins and the main act that people pay a lot of money to see, they tend to stay in their seats unless they're going to the bathroom or quickly nip into the merch stand. But that's usually a steady trickle of people. There is no way in hell that this concourse is that busy for the entirety of the runtime. And the fact that the daughter, who's been looking forward to this concert so much, willingly goes away from the concert to find it at one point is a very frustrating element. The way that we're pitched at this whole concert venue is covered by many, many police officers and FBI agents, how there are temporary cameras everywhere. I refuse to believe that there is not a single moment where at least one law enforcement officer doesn't question the activities this man is doing. If they're being so thorough and checking literally everything on the cameras, then he should have stuck out, because there's no way the same guy changing outfits and acquiring backstage passes and key cards in a way that is very shady isn't picked up at one point. The guy literally walks through a big group of SWAT team members, and not a single one of them questions him on the passcode that all backstage staff have to be using with the police officers. He only asked it once, and it's only in a convenient setting where there's not many people around to question it. The way he meanders his way through this movie just felt very, very poorly executed and very daft when you stop and think about the movie for more than a second. And then when we get to the latter half of the film, because whilst a lot of people seem to really enjoy the concept element of it, there is an extended part of this movie that drags on way too long. And I mean drags on for an extra half an hour. I will say that with this film, it shows that M. Night Shyamalan's probably going Father of the Year, because not every daughter can say their father put them in a big budget movie that shows up at cinemas and has the first half focusing exclusively on her musical talents and then letting them be the heroine for the second half of the movie. That is the arc that Saleka Shyamalan goes through in this movie, and it feels very jarring when they're suddenly from a backdrop character to a central protagonistic focus. It feels like a very sudden shift, and the way that comes about is also very stupid when you really think about it, because there was no way in hell that this situation could possibly occur, even at the wishes of an artist. There was no way this would occur in any way, shape, or form. And when we get to our classic M. Night Shyamalan plot twist, whereas plot twists these days have become more reveals, I will give it this. It was somewhat set up with how we are perceiving the Butcher throughout the majority of the film's runtime versus the reason they believe him to be at that concert. It feels like a very big oversight for someone like this character. So when they get around to explaining that element, that I could buy it a little bit. But even then, you had to question why the actions were taken in a certain way and not in a more obvious way. This is a film that very much feels like things happen only because the movie needs these things to happen in order for the plot to move forward. And usually films are very good at hiding that fact, but Trap fails to do that in any way. This is just an abysmal film that is horribly written, and I will admit, I am no amazing screenwriter myself. I've tried writing it. It is bloody difficult, but it feels like this did not go through the many rewriting and redrafting processes that films would usually go down. With Shyamalan writing his own movies, it feels like he lets these gaps in logic and plot structure fall through the cracks. And whilst, yes, his dialogue has never been the greatest in his movies, his films tend to usually have charm that paves over the cracks left by a lackluster script, but Trap has none of that. It uses the setting of the concert well, and the performance of Josh Hartnett in the lead is really well done, especially when he goes and lets the facade of the family man drop in order to really commit to the butcher side of him. That element was really well done. Plus, there is a side plot with a daughter and a falling out with a friend that we never get context to, and it feels that is truly paid off. We never even see the other girl in question that is part of this until we get the big slap in the face, you got your karma moment. And that I felt like needed a little bit more build up. It just felt like that was a side part of the movie in order to cause more tension and drama for the main plot to occur. And yeah, I'm really done talking about this. Trap was a huge disappointment for me. I went into this with very high hopes. Before I get into my grade, if you like seeing our channel, click the like button and subscribe for more reviews that's coming all the time. Without further ado, let's grade this. Trap is a movie that is well acted and it does give a platform to Shyamalan's daughter, Saleka, but the way the script plays out and the way it relies on every character being a complete idiot. For example, the guy in the trailer, you would assume from the trailer clip that these two are old friends and that's why the guy's more open to telling him this secret of the trap. But the context of the movie throws that obvious potential out the window and makes it the most obscene reason possible for someone to just give this information to someone that potentially could be this maniac. It was a very frustrating movie to get through, and the film overstays its welcome. I had checked out before we get to the second half of the movie, and it kept going on and on and on and on, and the ending just felt like a big slap in the face. Overall, Trap was a huge disappointment, very frustrating, and I'm going to have to say that for me, Trap as a concept is good, but as an overall movie, it is just a teabag. So Trap, have you seen it? If you have, let me know your thought down in the comments below. Again, we latest in the channel. Click a like button and subscribe for more reviews that's coming all the time, coming up on the channel. Going to be having my review of Cuckoo come out a little bit later today, as well as a review of Alien Romulus as soon as it comes out, either Friday or Saturday. But until next time, everybody, I am Josh, I have been Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.